Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I'm Power Symphonic and I've been gathering CDs so I could do a latest haul. So I have got a stack of CDs here that I want to show you. I've got music DVD and I've got some cassettes that I found at work, which is some cool finds. But there is a lot of CDs here, as you can see in the DVD. So basically on eBay there's a seller that I have a look at their stuff because I look on eBay a lot. I've been using Thingy at the moment. I've been using Vinted, if anybody's heard of that. So that's, I've just bought some like so many pairs of skinny jeans and I've looked at the like bullet belt or the studded belt and stuff like that, and I've been getting a few things off there, and I've seen a lot of CDs and DVDs. But there is a seller on eBay and I've previously bought some stuff off that person, and they have loads of cheap CDs, DVDs and everything, mainly music related, some movies and that sort of stuff, comedy and everything, but a lot of DVD, CDs and of music stuff. He sells a lot of power slash symphonic metal, obviously like death, doom, gothic and grindcore and all that sort of stuff, heavy metal and everything, but there's a lot of power slash symphonic and prog and epic metal and all that sort of stuff in there. So I've raided him before and I bought, I think it was like 20 CDs. When I bought a stack of CDs off him. Some of these have come from Amazon. So there is, how many is there here? So there's 6 from Amazon, which are pre-orders, and then pre-orders, and then a stack of CDs there to go through. There is a lot of stuff, so I've made a note of everything because trying to remember everything off by heart of where they're from and all that sort of stuff is a task. But yeah, I'm going to start off with the Amazon pre-orders. So the first one that I pre-ordered was the brand new studio album from the Swedish Melodeath band At the Gates. So they were formed way back in 1990, and this one is their 8th studio album, and it's their final album with Thomas Lindberg, which was a shame that he passed away. I've actually seen the band twice with Thomas Lindberg at the front, on vocals, which I was gutted about that he's passed away and snuffed it. I was like, oh, such a good band. He was only 50 something. God bless his soul. But yeah, I believe he had mouth or something, cancer or something like that, and it caught him and complications or something. But absolutely gutting. But it's just one of them. But this is a newest studio album. Not sure what's gonna. It's called The Ghost of a Future Dead. 12 tracks, 42 minutes, limited CD, digipack and poster. Not sure what's gonna happen with the band now. Are they going to continue and get a new singer, or are they just gonna call it a day? But to be completely honest with a band like this, if I was them, I would literally get together, get a singer. Not sure who the singer is, get a singer in, and then maybe one of the songs of At the Gates, because some bands have done that in the past where they'll pick a song from the band's discography and that's the songs. So like say on here, Parasitical Hive, just for instance, they could call the band that. Some bands do that, they'll call themselves a song from their band that was that was previously going, and then when they play live they do a couple of songs from their, like say a few At the Gates, and then because I would say they release this brand new studio album of their new band, a debut, so they'll play say 4 At the Gates or something like that, and they'll add a couple in, and then the stuff from the new band. Something like that would be cool with some bands, but I know some bands they continue with a new singer, which isn't a problem, but then some of them it just doesn't work, and there's other bands it works perfect. Second singer's better for some reason, but yeah, new At the Gates album. Then we have some Japanese or J-Power Metal. These were formed in 2016 and this is their 5th album, Outstanding Power. I've actually seen this band twice. So I've seen them at Bloodstock Open Air on the main stage, and then I seen them supporting it was Dragon Force in Birmingham at the, I believe it was the Institute? I think it was the Institute, but yeah. Brand new studio album, cannot wait to get into this. I've not listened to nothing off this album yet. The minute it came up for pre-order, for pre-ordering, adding it to my collection. 1,000,000% cannot wait to listen to it. Super excited. Very talented musicians. I've said to most people when they're like, what I love Bites, and I'm like, basically Japanese's answer to Dragon Force, effectively Dragon Force in Japan, which is absolutely cool. There's a full band on the back and they're all very talented musicians. So yeah, the new one. Can't wait to get into that. Then we have the new Venom album. This one is Into Oblivion. So Newcastle upon Tyne. So they're a Geordie band. They were formed in 1978, and they're dubbed like the first wave of black metal. And this is their 16th studio album. And I haven't listened to nothing off this yet, but I cannot wait to it. Listen to it. That song sounds good. Metal, bloody metal. That sounds absolutely all Death Wish. So yeah, it's a brand new one. I can't wait to get into this, get it on my YouTube channel and give the album a full listen. So then this one is an EP, or I'd say a compilation because it's 11 songs, but it says an EP. But for me, an EP is somewhere like 4 to 6 songs. So this one, I'd call it a compilation. But Italian folk/power metal rights of disclosure. The album's called, and it's Elven King. They are absolutely awesome band. They were formed in 1997. This is their second EP. I've actually seen this band once in Birmingham. There was at Hard Rock Hell, and they kicked ass live. Absolutely awesome. I'd love to see these again, so hopefully they come over at some point. It'd be cool if they come to Questfest, or Bloodstock would probably be a no because they don't really have many power metal bands there anymore. But Questfest would be absolutely awesome to get them there. So now we have some Norwegian symphonic black metal, and this album is Grand Serpent Rising from Dimmu Borgir. It depends how you pronounce it, because I know several people say it different ways, and I've heard people arguing this way is you say it, that way is you say it, but I say like Dimmu Borgir. Formed way back in 1993, and this is their 10th studio album. I actually thought they made more albums than 10 studio albums, and when I realised it was their 10th studio album, I was like, oh cool. I thought they actually, for some reason, I thought they'd made more, but this is their brand new one. Haven't listened to nothing off this yet. Seen it for pre-order, pre-ordered it, completely forgot about it, and then I noticed it said dispatched, and I was like, I forgot the brand new studio album. So now we have some Devin Townsend, Canadian singer-songwriter, and this album is The Moth. Devin Townsend returns with his long-awaited, ambitious orchestral opus, The Moth. Limited edition, 2 CD edition in Ocar. Includes The Moth and Afterlife on 2 CDs. So that is absolutely awesome, and I cannot wait to literally get into this. So this is his 12th solo album. I know he's made a lot of albums. He's released loads under like Devin Townsend Project, Devin Townsend Band. I know he's formerly in Strapping Young Lad, and some when they play live, they play some Strapping Young Lad songs. But yeah, he's had a varied career. He's got a lot of albums out. So this is his 12th solo. But I'm still missing a few from my collection of Devin Townsend and his various projects, and I will get them eventually. But I can't wait to listen to this, and I am super excited to add that one to my collection. So now we have a stack of CDs here, which are the ones that I literally got off eBay. So there's 4, 5, 6. So there's 9 CDs here, and some of these I've never heard of. Some of them I've heard the name, and I thought I wouldn't mind checking them out. But they're from this seller, basically on Thingy. So I don't know much about some of them, as I've said. So I've made a note of what I can find on the band, and some of them can't really find much. But the first one is Tatiana's Niovi, and this is Breath of Life. So it says Greek melodic symphonic prog metal, and it said debut album. And the minute I seen it said that, I was instantly sold. And I thought for like £2.99, I thought that's going to be an interesting to check these out. And just purely for the genre, what it says, I thought I'm hooked. So for £3, I thought I'm definitely going to get that. There has been 1 or 2 albums that I've got, probably none of the power metal. There's been a couple of like the extreme metal that were like couple of pound on eBay when I bought a few, and there's been one or two that I thought they're not that bad, nothing I'd probably keep in my collection, so I've gifted a few to friends, but a couple of quid, you can't complain, so I am super excited to give that one a listen. Then we have some German prog metal, and these were formed way back in 1994, and it's their fourth album, which was released in 2016. I mentioned to my friend Bruce, and he said he hasn't got that in his collection and needs to get a copy, and asked me where I got it from, and I sent him to the seller, and he said he'd, give him a check out and pick the album up. This is Closing the Circle from Assignment. I've not actually listened to this band, but there's something about that artwork, and I was like, that really piqued my interest, and that was like £2.20 something, so I thought I'm going to add that to the basket, and I'm going to get a copy of that and give that one a listen. And obviously when it says prog, German prog, I thought that's piqued my interest, so that's probably a definitely yes. Then we have some Polish symphonic power metal band, Gemini Abyss. This one is Claim of the Planet. So they were formed in 2011. This is their debut album from 2013. Now I have listened to one or two songs of this band in the past, and I thought what I've heard sounded pretty cool. So I thought, you know what, I seen that, and I think it was like £3 something, and I thought that's one that I am definitely picking up, and I cannot wait to give this one a listen. I know it's been a while since I've actually listened to one or two of their tracks, so I'm not sure if the songs are on here, so it may jog my memory or something like that, but I thought, yeah, that's a band, absolutely. So now we have some Hevetar, the brand new album, the classically inspired power metal band by Stefan Schmidt, Van Canto and Jörg Michael from Stratovarius, a beast of a drummer. Love that band, and Van Canto are a very fun band, but this one is Opus 2, The Annihilation. So it's 2012 it said they were formed in, and this is 2018, which is their second studio album. So I'm missing the debut one, so I'll be looking for that. But I'm going to have to go on Discogs and have a look first in my Discogs, because I can't remember if Hevetar, because the name rings a bell. I'm not sure if I've actually got the second studio album, or should I say the debut album, because from the look of this, I don't believe I've got this in my collection, but the first one I'm going to have to look, because I may have it, I may not, I can't remember, because I've got that many albums in my collection, so I'm going to have to have a look at that. So now we have an international power metal band, and this album is called Heroes, and the band's called Season of Dreams, formed in 2018, and this is their second album, 2021. But as you can see from that artwork, the minute I seen that artwork, and it was like £3.10 or something like that, free postage, it was an instant, yeah, I'm definitely getting that no matter what, because just from the artwork, it's probably going to be something I am going to enjoy. And then when it said they were an international power metal band, I thought, yes, yes, and more yes. I tried to think what record label they're on. Soul Food, is it? I believe it's Soul Food, but that's cool. It's a band I am super excited to give this one a listen. And now we have some Italian prog metal / hard rock, and this band is called Headless. Melt the ice away. This was like £1 something, and the minute you saw what the genre was, I thought £1 something, you know what, decided I'm going to give that a try. So I bought a bunch of them, and I'm going to fully blind with that band. So this is their fourth album, 2018. I'm not sure when this band was formed or anything like that. I don't know nothing about them other than they exist and what I've seen on eBay. So yeah, I'm definitely eager to give that one a listen. Being it's their fourth studio album, I'll give that a listen, which means maybe there is 3 albums that I am missing in my collection, but I'll give it a listen. If I like it, it will go in my collection and look for the others. If not, I can always just gift it to a friend that I know would fully appreciate that. I've got some friends that I've gift CDs before, and I said I've got this in my collection, I'll gift it to them, because I know it's certain friends that will grab the CD and I will take it and I will listen to it, and if they don't like it, I know they will pass it on to somebody that they will appreciate it. I know they're not the type of person that will be like, I'll have that off you, and then just stick it straight in eBay, try and make some money, because I know some people would do that, like this, as they call scalpers and stuff like that. But I know a few friends wouldn't. I know a few good friends that would just listen to it love it, add it to the collection. Not like it, then they'd pass it on to someone that would appreciate it. So this band, actually don't know much about this band, but it's a Stignaia, I think it's Spanish epic Celtic folk metal. That was like, oh, that sounds interesting. Formed in 2011, Myths Through the Shadows of Freedom. At first I thought, is that a folk, a pure folk, but when it said what it was, I thought that's going to be interesting, and I think it was like £2 something, but I know there's a crack in the case, as you can see. Oh, pardon me, but I can easily sort that out because I find loads of CDs at work, so I can just swap it with something, which isn't a problem. But it's the fourth studio album 2019, so that one's going to be a interesting listen. So now we have some French symphonic metal. I actually don't have this one in my collection, and it's Blind from the band Wisdom. So they were formed in 2006, and this is their second studio album, 2015. I really don't believe I have that one in my collection. Oh, another one on Scarlet Records. Another one produced and released in Milano, Italy, which is cool. So yeah, another album that I haven't got in my collection, so I can give that a listen. I'm actually not sure if I actually listened to this studio album. I do have some of the Wisdom albums in my collection, so if you've seen my other previous videos, you'll see that I've unboxed one or two. So yeah, I was seeing that and I thought I'm definitely having that, and I'm going to give that one a listen, and I can't wait. So yeah, as I said, I'll be honest, I'm not sure if I've actually listened to that album in the past, or if I haven't. I cannot remember, but still, that's absolutely awesome for the price. So now we have one more CD, and this one is, they're called Heonia Portraits. It says French symphonic prog metal, which was like, oh, symphonic prog metal, that's interesting. And something musics, I think it is, but Noise Factory Studio. But yeah, it says they were formed in 2006, and this is their second album, 2015. And for like £2 something, I thought that's another band. I thought, just purely for the genre, I thought I'm gonna go in fully blind with that, and I'm gonna take a chance. But I've done that quite a few times. I buy albums, I bought some purely for the artwork and all that sort of stuff. I thought, you know what, I'm going to give them a chance. But as I was saying to my good friend Martin from Telford ages ago, I said, when it comes to stuff like that, I'll see something, I look at the artwork, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. I said, it's how I got into Amon Amarth, because there's the story about Amon Amarth. I went to Liverpool for the day. I was living in Rill, and I went to Liverpool with my mother, and we went in HMV, and I was looking for some CDs of bands, and there was nothing there, that because everything that was there I'd already got. And I was like, Amon Amarth, not heard of them, the name, and I looked at it and I thought, for some reason that reminds me of some like power metal or something like that. And for like, I think it was 15, Certo Rising, and you got the second disc with like, I believe it's their first 4 studio albums live. And I was like, you know what, I thought I'm going to take a chance on that, I'm going to give it a listen. Took it home, put it in the CD player, played it. Wasn't power metal, melodic death metal, mellow death. That's the first time I'd probably heard mellow death until later on, when a friend said, you'd listen to this band, you've listened to that band, you know there was mellow death. I didn't know. So that's the first time I properly thought I'd heard mellow death, and I listened to the album and thought, this is really good. And then I dipped into their back catalogue, got like Twilight of the Thunder God and stuff like that. But yeah, I did it to my collection. Love the band. So I normally do that now and again. If it's a reasonable price, I will take a chance on bands, and thought I'd give that a listen. So it's how I've discovered some bands, and it's how some of my favourite bands, how I've discovered them, which is cool. So now we have one DVD. This is Mythology Chapter 2, 2000 to 2006. Recommended for mature audiences 15 years and over. Occasional coarse language. So swear words. But they're an Australian heavy power metal band. I do have a couple of their studio albums in my collection. I'm looking to get the rest of them. But formed in late 1993, it says. And this is their second video release. And it's the band Pegasus. The first time I actually heard the name of that band, there's a Hammerfall DVD. I think it was the Temple of Renegade Crusades, because I was on a Renegade tour or something like that. And then they're walking around the venue, and then he shows some of the merch, and he says there's whatever the other band was, and then it says Pegasus. And I was like, that sounds interesting, and I've checked them out and I liked what I heard, and I thought I seen that and that was something like a 5, and I thought I am 1,000,000% grabbing that and adding it to my collection. So I can't wait to actually watch this. But compilation of rare footage from a band, archive tapes with live and stage footage, recording of the Headless Awesome Horseman album in the studio. That's awesome. On location filming video clips, kicking ass on tour and that sort of stuff. So that's going to be awesome. I did have to check because I know there's a couple of bands called Pegasus, and I know there's one, and I think it's a melodic hip hop or something like that, or whatever it was that came up, pop band or something, which I thought, no, that weren't the right one. But I know there's an extreme metal band, but just looking at that name, you'd have thought with that name, you'd thought there was an extreme metal band. You wouldn't think they were a heavy power metal band, but yeah. So I grabbed that one and I thought I'm definitely adding that one, and I cannot wait to watch the DVD and dip into that. So yeah, that has been my latest haul. So I'm not sure if I actually showed you these cassettes because can't remember if I showed them in my previous video, my latest haul. I cannot remember, but I found 6 cassettes at work. I've got to go through these cassettes because I've got to literally find and go through them and figure out which ones are in my collection, because the ones that are in my collection I'll pass them on to. I know some good friends that will happily have these in a collection. The ones that I don't have will go into my collection, and they're in good condition. So you have Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good, Megadeth, Aerosmith Pump, awesome, that is well cool. Find these. My favourite Metallica album, their debut studio album Kill 'Em All, which this album is a masterpiece of an album. Then we have 20 of the greatest hits from the Beatles, and I thought, you know what, I need to listen to more of the Beatles. I need to get around to listen to more. I've got a few compilations I've listened to, but I need to listen to more of them because I haven't really listened to much of them, because I don't mind them, and I'm open when it comes to all the classic stuff, and I'll give them more of a listen. Peace Souls, But Who's Buying? Another Megadeth album. Finally, I know I have this on cassette. I do believe I have this, so I'm going to check what version this is, see what pressing or something like that. But we have Rust in Peace, which is probably Megadeth's, some people would say Countdown to Extinction, but I'd probably say Rest in Peace is their biggest album by Megadeth. So yeah, 6 cassettes which I found at work, which was awesome. So I've got to go through them and figure out which ones. So yeah, I hope this video wasn't too long, because there is a lot of stuff here, a lot of videos worth of footage, so I'll be getting a load of them and putting them on my YouTube channel. So yeah, that has been my latest haul. I've got some turning up, I think it's tomorrow or something like that. I believe there's a vinyl and a CD, or is it sometime next week, and I've got a few more turning up, so there'll be another latest haul video coming soon. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope it wasn't too long, but if you're new to my channel, as I've said, I mainly do unboxing videos. If you want to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, all of that sort of awesome stuff, because many unboxing videos. I do show off music tattoos when I get them. I'm looking at getting some more. I show off my latest haul collection, all music related, gig reviews, some album reviews, talk about the bands I love, all of that sort of epic stuff. So yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. I'm going to go and get some of these done, and then I'll be putting them on my YouTube channel. Preferably, like I said in my other videos, all the new releases, so a brand new studio album from a band, they take priority over like albums that come out like 10-20 years ago, because I'll go into the pile to do videos, and then remember the ones when I get a moment, I'll be anniversaries and that, I'll be putting them on my YouTube channel. But at the moment I go through thingy first of all the newest releases of bands, brand new studio albums and that sort of stuff. So yeah, hope you're having a good weekend. I will catch you in the next video. So that was Symphonic saying have yourself a good one, and I shall see you later.